The Houston Texans might be the most improved team throughout the offseason. They had a great free agency and a really good draft. And I'll tell you why that is in just a second. But super quick, massive shout out to Evan Lorenz for the suggestion of today's video. Go drop him a sub, their link is in the description. And of course, if you want a shout out just like that one, just let me know what team to do next. And then when I pick your comment, I'll of course do the team you want me to, give you a shout out, and it helps me know what y'all want to see, so it's a win-win-win. But we did really well with the like goal in the last video, so let's up it a tiny bit. Let's shoot for 130 likes on this video, and of course, if we can hit that, I'll have another one of these special rebuilds with the new rookies out on Thursday. And again, massive thank you for 3K. Be sure to subscribe if you have not already and share with a friend. Let's see if we can maybe get to 3,050 subs off this video. I don't know if that's doable, but again, subscribe if you're not, share with a friend. I would appreciate it very much. But that's enough plugging. I'm going to be doing a ton of these rebuilds, so turn on notifications if you want to ensure that you catch them. They're all going to be with the new rookies, of course. I'm working on putting them into my custom rosters. So far, I'm into like the third round, like halfway through the third round, so we're making good progress. They should be done within the next week or so. So I'm really excited about that. But okay, that's enough plugging, and let's talk about this team. For starters, you obviously went with Anthony Richardson with the number 2 overall pick. What number is he gonna wear? Wait. Okay, I think I called him Anthony Richardson. I'm like horribly tired. I don't know why. I hope I didn't, but I think I might have. Either way, I don't know what number he's gonna wear. It's probably gonna be 7, but I don't feel like changing it. So we're gonna rock with 6. How does that sound? But yeah, I think that was a good pick. He doesn't have like the craziest upside in the world. He's similar to like a Dak Prescott, Jared Goff type, where they're gonna make mistakes. You just hope to keep those to a minimum. I don't know how much to buy into the whole like S2 test. Is that what it's called? Fucking F2? I can't remember what it's called, but you know what I mean, where he got like 16%. Most other players get like 80+%. Bryce Young, who was my favorite QB in the class, got like a 98 or something crazy. I don't know how much you buy into that, but it is interesting. It tests their like decision making and all that, like quick decision making. So I don't know, that's definitely interesting. But I do like him a lot as a prospect. I know it sounds like I don't like him at all. I think he will be good. I just don't know if he'll ever be like top 5 or anything. He could be for sure, but we'll see. And then my number 1 favorite prospect in the class, you got Will Anderson. I'm jealous as fuck as a Seahawks fan. He could be like ridiculous. You obviously traded up to get him and you traded a decent amount to get him, but I'm fine with that. I like him a lot, like I was saying. He could be like a true dominant player, like a Nick Bosa, Micah Parsons, Myles Garrett level pass rusher. He could be amazing. I didn't love the Juice Scruggs pick. I thought he was like a late day 3 borderline undrafted player, but you picked him in the fucking 2nd round. I don't really understand that. They must have seen something I didn't see there. I did like the Tank Dell pick a lot. There isn't a good face for him in the game, so that's the best I could get. I also did like the Xavier Hutchinson pick. I think you got decent enough value down the board. Henry To'oTo'o in like the 3rd or 4th round. In the 5th round, okay, that's decent value. I also forgot you got Dylan Horton too, who I want to get some playing time here. It's a really deep edge group now, and I like that a lot. I'm a big time pass rush enjoyer, if you didn't know that. I think it's maybe the most important thing you can have in the NFL outside of like a good quarterback. I mean, if you're getting pressure on the enemy team's quarterback, you're throwing their whole game off. So overall, I do think there were some questionable picks for the Texans, but I think they were almost all really good. And I didn't even really talk about what this team did in the offseason in general, because I've done so many rebuilds of the Texans. Obviously, Devin Singletary, Robert Woods, Noah Brown, Shaq Mason, Dalton Schultz, Jimmy Ward, Denzel Perriman, Sheldon Rankins. You really overhauled this team. Corey Littleton too, like just within the span of a year, you took this from like the worst team in the NFL to like a potential playoff team. I don't know if that's too crazy to say, but this is a fucking nice roster. I really like what they've done. And not to mention, you have Derek Stingley, who wasn't super great last year, but in your number 2 could have a big breakout. We'll see. But I mean, that's enough talking. I've talked way too much about this team. I just really like what they've done this year. So let's get into this rebuild and let's get to the midseason point of year number 1, assuming there are no scenarios, which I'm guessing there will be. This is a young team. All right, this might be a weird trade, but we're going to be getting rid of Davis Mills. We're going to send him to the the Buccaneers, it's rare that I start a video just with a trade, especially of a QB, but we're going to send him to the Bucs for a second-round pick. I mean, Davis Mills is still very young. He's still only 23 here. I think he's 24 in real life. The Bucs don't really have, like, a younger QB. I guess they have Kyle Trask, but it's Kyle Trask. Like, I don't know. This is just their younger guy that they can maybe develop. Davis Mills does have a decent amount of upside, I guess, and I think he'll start for them this year here. Baker could work out in real life, but he's not going to work out in Madden. He's already like 28, doesn't have a good dev trait, is only like a 71 overall here. So this is an upgrade for them, and plus they like their long neck QBs, you know what I'm saying? Fucking Mike Glennon, now Davis Mills, so they're keeping the tradition going. Okay, we actually have a wide receiver mentorship. It is for Nico Collins. I kind of wish it was maybe like Tank Dell or like, oh god, the Alabama guy. I can't remember his name. You know who I'm talking about. They're Alabama receiver. I'm stupid. But Nico Collins is good too. I guess let's just go medium route running. That's just normally the thing I do because it kind of affects everything in a way, or most archetypes. So pretty good to get some upgrades there. And then we did actually get a mentorship for, I think it was Kenyon Green. Yeah, so we got boosts last week and not as many mentorships as I was hoping for, but I'll definitely take at least a couple. Ah yes, let's practice squad our like second round linemen. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I don't know why the Falcons did that. Okay. Bruh, holy shit. They practice squatted Will McDonald, their first round pick, which was a very questionable first round pick. I mean, the Jets edge group is like the deepest position group for like any team in the NFL, and they're like, yeah, we need another one. Not even one that's supposed to go in the first round either. Like, I didn't really get that pick, but I don't think he should be practice squatted. Good lord. Okay, well, at the midseason point of year number 1, we're sitting at 2-4. Apparently, Madden doesn't think this team is as good as I do. What the fuck did I click? I don't know what that was. But CJ Stroud's doing not too great. 1,600 yards, 12 touchdowns, but 8 picks is pretty high. He's on pace for like 20. That's not great. Dameon Pierce is doing pretty bad. I did start all young guys in our receiving group with John Mechie, Tank Dell, and Nico Collins. Titus Howard isn't doing amazing. Well, that's not terrible. We have Shaq Mason on pace for maybe the all-castration team. That would be fun. But I mean, yeah, overall, not as good as I would have hoped for so far, but we have some re-signings here, some corners, and honestly, nobody here is really interested. We do have a couple starters here. We might re-sign Desmond King, we'll see, but nobody's interested, and he is technically older. He's already 27. We could look to upgrade there. So, I mean, there just really isn't much for us to do here. So with that, let's get to the end of year number 1. We almost won the division. At the end of year 1, we finished 8-9, which is about where this team is probably going to finish in real life. I do kind of feel like they'll finish with a winning record, but we'll see. But damn, I wish we could have made the playoffs. Bro, look at the NFC. Oh my god. The best team playing in the wild card was 10-7. Every other team was 9-8 or worse. Ew. But CJ Stroud had an okay rookie season. 4,200 yards, 28 touchdowns, 17 picks is pretty high though. Not bad though. Well, it definitely wasn't great, but could have been worse. Dameon Pierce with just over 1,000 yards, 4.2 yards per carry, 11 touchdowns, 3 fumbles is pretty high for Madden. Meh, he wasn't great. John Mechie was though, 1,100 yards, 6 touchdowns. Nico Collins, almost 1,000 yards, 7 touchdowns. Even Tank Dell, 860 yards, 9 touchdowns as a rookie. Dalton Schultz was fine, 776 and 1. Blocking, it definitely could have been worse, for sure. Titus Howard wasn't great, but Laramie Tunsil was fine for Madden. In real life, this would be a terrible year, but for Madden, that's not bad. Juice Scruggs, considering his overall, wasn't bad, and then the guards were good, especially Kenyon Green. Defensively, Denzel Perriman led the team in tackles with 133, couple players with over 100. Tackles for loss, we had 13 from Grenard and Rankins, 11 for Collins, and 10 for Will Anderson as a rookie. In sacks, 8.5 for Grenard, 7.5 for Anderson, and then 3 for a few players. Interceptions, Henry Toto, or however the hell you say his name, he led the team with 3, and then 2 for Denzel Perriman, Desmond King, Eric Murray. Eric Murray? When did he get on the field? He played 300 snaps, and I meant to start Derek Stingley, but it looks like I forgot to move him back up in the depth chart. I'm stupid. He had 2 though, so not too bad, and then 1 for a few players. For yearly awards, Josh Allen wins MVP here. Jimmy G up there, oh boy. Bryce Young at number 7. That's fun. But no Texans. Offensive Player of the Year goes to Josh Allen, too. That's rare for someone to win MVP and Offensive Player of the Year. He must have had like a ton of rushing yards, too. Why does Randall Cobb always end up on the Chiefs, and why is he always super good? I don't know. No Texans up there, though. Defensive Player of the Year went to Von Miller. No Texans. Offensive Rookie of the Year. Breece Hall won it here, but who was Rookie of the Year? We have John Mechie at number 4, but Michael Mayer wins Offensive Rookie of the Year here. Tank Dell at number 2. CJ Stroud at number 3, but Dameon Pierce up there for the old Offensive Rookie. It's so confusing, because obviously you can't set the game, or set the season a year in the future. I mean, you can, but then I would have to create all the rookies just in franchise, and that would be a pain in the ass to do, because if I didn't, it would set them a year ahead too, and it would make them not rookies either. So it would just be a big mess. It's gonna be a mess either way. Felix Anudike Uzama wins Defensive Rookie of the Year here. I feel like he won it in the last rebuild I did too. Henry To'oTo'o gets number 2, so that's pretty good. Will Anderson up there. So I mean, overall decent first year. We finished pretty well in terms of our record. I feel like some of our players could have done better, but overall I'm pretty happy with it. So with that, let's get into the offseason and let's see what we can do to improve this team. In the Super Bowl, the Bills took down the Cardinals 31-10. The 8-9 Cardinals were in the Super Bowl. What is their overall? Well, they have an 81 overall. I guess I think of their team being really bad because I don't think of Baker or D-Hop being on the team anymore, but with them, they do have a decent roster, but still 81 in the Super Bowl, that's a bit iffy. I mean, there are literal like 85s, 84s here, like whatever you say, Madden. And I mean, in terms of re-signings, I want to bring one of the, do I want to bring one of the corners back? I guess I could, but neither of them are really going to become like super good for us. It's going to be expensive as shit to re-sign Desmond King too. Yeah, that's way too much money. We're not going to re-sign either of them. That's the plan. Unless Tavier Thomas is like considerably cheaper, which I guess he is. Very player friendly is really long. It's 5 years, but it's only 7.3 mil per year. Let's see if he takes it. He does. Okay, so at the very least, he'll be like a decent third or even fourth corner by the end of this. So I guess that's fine. I don't know how to feel about that. I feel like I just wasted money. You know, bringing Jadeveon Clowney back could be pretty fun. I mean, we have literally no need for him, but it would be interesting. What do we really need right now? That's the major question. I mean, we don't really have like a great receiver. I could go after like Michael Thomas or something. I could sign a corner for sure. I would have re-signed Desmond King if he wasn't like not interested at all. Also, Henry To'oTo'o did get star dev, which is kind of nice, and Jonathan Grenard did also get star. He was really good this year. I don't really think we need to go too crazy in free agency, honestly. I don't normally anyways, but I thought I would need to here just because this team isn't like great or anything. It's definitely improved through the offseason, but it's still not like amazing or anything, but we don't really need to do anything. I think we're just better off going to the draft and upgrading through there. I'm just gonna make one like insurance move just because we don't really have great players at corner, and in case we can't like draft a good one. Mike Hughes does technically have upside. He has star dev. He's still only 26, which is kind of old for Madden, but it's not terrible, and he signs, so it's a good enough move. He'll get us by at the very least as like a third option. I mean, I just don't really want Robert Woods anymore. He's older. He's not gonna play for us anyways, so we're gonna trade him to the Falcons because they literally have 3 receivers on their roster, one being a 62 overall, so I think that works out pretty well for them. He is old, but that's a team that weirdly enough could maybe win now. That's a really nice roster, and I mostly did that because I didn't feel like pushing him down the depth chart every time I reordered it, so I just felt like it. This is a wild top 3. I feel like the Seahawks always have the number 1 overall pick here now, which is a little depressing as a Seahawks fan, but it is what it is. And then the Eagles have 2 of the top 3 picks. They're like the Texans this year, except they didn't have to trade up for those, and they should have been a good team, but apparently they weren't. I also saw they cut Nolan Smith here. I hate this game. It's stupid. But I mean, either way, let's see. We're just gonna go straight to our first pick. And what do we want to do here? Okay, none of the really good corners are left. There were some like monsters at the top, but they did get taken. It is a very deep corner group, or corner class, I should say. Ooh, we might have found our guy like right off the bat. Dalton Woodley. I'll look at the others, but I doubt they'll be better than him. Yeah, no, Dalton Woodley looks amazing, is the fastest corner in the class, ran a 4.25 at his pro day, but somehow only has great speed and acceleration, not elite. I guess maybe the 4.32 at the combine was more accurate, but 4.32 is like borderline elite. I don't know, either way looks very good, has really good man coverage. I would prefer he had zone coverage. I mean, I know we have a man scheme here, but you just go slot upgrade and it gives you like a million man coverage. Like, it's easy to upgrade in this game, but I won't complain too much. This guy looks good. I can't wait for him to have normal development. Let's take him. Okay, no, he does have hidden. Only 94 speed though. That's kind of surprising, but overall looks like a good player based just off of his athletic tools. And then of course we have another first round pick thanks to the Browns. I did check and I didn't realize they have another first round pick from the Browns in 2024. Poor Browns, by the way. Unless Deshaun Watson starts playing well, the Browns got scammed. Ooh, I really don't know what to do here. This Denzel Rosemond guy is interesting. He ran a 4.26, has elite jumping speed and acceleration, but his attributes are terrible. Other than, of course, the A deep route, and honestly, the C awareness, that isn't great, but for like a deep threat receiver, like a pure speed guy, that isn't bad. This guy also could just be like John Ross or something. He is interesting though. We don't really have like a pure speed guy. We have two kind of route running guys in Tank Dell and John Mechie, even though John Mechie's just more like shifty than anything, and then like a big bodied guy in Nico Collins. You know what? Yeah, Carlos Wallace doesn't look that good anyways. Let's potentially reach on a receiver here. Let's go Denzel Rosemond. Ah, god damn it. Normal dev, but 98 speed, somehow only 79 change of direction. It's also weird that this guy's 6'1" and is that fast. Normally, like, these generated players are like 5'8" with ridiculous speed, so this player's confusing. I just took I just took an alien, that's what I did. I took an alien in the first round of the NFL draft. Oops. Oh, and there goes Carlos Wallace, one pick before us. Cool. Damn, there are a lot of... Oh, wait, no, these are UDFAs. There must just be no good QBs because all of them look good, which typically that means there just isn't anybody actually good because they're all just... The grades are just relative to the other players in the class. So if it's like A short accuracy or something, that could be terrible, but it's just an A because nobody in the class has good short accuracy. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. That's kind of why I don't like the new rating system for draft classes, but it is what it is. There isn't really much value for many of our positions of need here, so I don't really know what to go with. Evan Rivers looks good. I would feel bad taking him because they literally did just take Juice Scruggs in the second round. He wasn't great though. He wasn't terrible, but 5 sacks at center is a bit high, and I think this would just be an immediate upgrade. Yeah, let's go Evan Rivers. Hidden dev, really good speed, considering he's 311 pounds. I like that pick a lot. And then I think this is our pick from the Buccaneers. Whoa, this guy's better looking than I thought he would be. John Kaplan, he's a 6 foot tall defensive lineman. That's different. Okay. He's 6 foot 260, 22 years old out of LSU. That's a weird build. Decent combine, I guess. He's not really too quick or strong, but he did have the best vertical jump, at least out of the players left at defensive end, and broad jump and 3-cone in second best 20-yard shuttle. That's interesting, but he doesn't have any elite ratings, just great. But his stats are ridiculous. B awareness, B power moves, A tackle, a day 3 projection too. This is a weird player. Did they like change draft classes again? I've never seen a player like this or the receiver we took. I don't know. Let's take him. Normal dev. He might be decent. That was just a really weird player. He looked really good though, but apparently that was a lie. Overall, it looks like we did okay in the draft. Nothing crazy, but to be fair, it looked like a really weak class for our positions of need. I actually want to check for a second. So Dalton Woodley is a 75 overall. Was there a better option at corner? Ooh, damn, there was an 81 overall receiver, but we didn't have a chance to get him anyways. There was a 77 overall corner, but he went at 11. There were 2 76 overall corners in the second round. I guess it just highly depends on what their dev traits are, but they are older players. Both of them do have hidden, so maybe we didn't get the best, but we got close to the best. The best that we could really do. But yeah, I mean, I would probably take that receiver pick back if I could. I mean, hell, even this Justice O'Dowd guy, the next receiver taken is a 74 with hidden. Goofy ass haircut, but would have been better to take. Oh well, either way, we did fine. That's really the only pick I would take back. Evan Rivers is a 71 overall. John Kaplan is at least a 70. No dev trait, but he is decent. And then I took most of these picks. They weren't great. And then I just simulated the last two. It definitely wasn't our best draft ever, but we did okay. We did all right. I'll say that. Here's a look at the team heading into year number 2. Not many changes throughout the offseason. I mean, we brought in this Evan Rivers guy to play center for us. Juice Scruggs wasn't awful, but he wasn't great, and he's a lower overall, so why not replace him? You know what I mean? Kind of weird to replace a second round pick after 1 year, but I thought it was a reach. This is my team now. I'll do what I want, okay? So yeah, Evan Rivers will start at us for center, and I mean, the receiving core is identical, at least in terms of the 3 starters. Everything else is the same. We'll have to see what we can get from CJ Stroud in year number 2, and then defensively, everything else is also mostly the same. We did add Dalton Woodley at corner, so we'll see what he can do. Obviously very athletic. Decent press too. I didn't even notice that. I don't know why. I guess I'm just stupid. So yeah, very athletic press man corner. Sounds good to me. Kader Kohu was also just chilling in free agency, so we have like the deepest corner room ever, yet we don't really have a good one, like super good. So I don't know. It's a really weird team. There's still players here that I haven't even really talked about yet, like Jimmy Ward I thought was a decent pickup, even though he's my least favorite player in the NFL because he's kind of a dickhead on the field. I just think he's a dickhead of a person in general, but good football player. Denzel Perriman I thought was a good pickup. I think I talked about him though. Jalen Petrie was solid as a rookie, was questionable in coverage, did pick up a good amount of interceptions though. I didn't even talk about Derek Stingley either, like top 3 pick for them last year, or I think I did. I don't know. I can't remember who I talked about. This team has a lot of players that could be super good. Laramie Tunsil, one of the best left tackles in the league. I didn't talk about him because I'm stupid. Damian Pierce. I mention this every time I see him, but I predicted him to win Offensive Rookie of the Year, and while that wasn't necessarily right, it was pretty close, so I think that was pretty good. But yeah, there's your second team breakdown of the rebuild. Just kind of a lot to talk about with this team. But with that, I think we're good to get to the midseason point of year number 2, so let's get there and let's see how this team can do. Okay, so at the midseason point of year 2, we're only 3-3, which isn't terrible considering we're only a 77 overall. Now, I guess we're technically a 79 because that was before I spent the upgrades, but 3-3 isn't too terrible for where this team's at. I feel like we're better than a 79. I guess it's just because we don't really have any receivers and our corners aren't the best, our linebackers aren't the best, but we definitely have some good pieces. Unfortunately, Woodley only does have star, and I would have to guess Rivers also does only have star, but that's fine. I was more so just hoping for Woodley to have superstar because we need that like number 1 corner, and I don't know if he'll be able to hit it with only star. We'll see, but I don't know. But for re-signings here, we have 163 mil to work with. We definitely want Laramie Tunsil back. I feel like he got a contract in real life, like a massive one. I don't know. We'll offer him 4 years, 84.8 mil. He takes it, unsurprisingly. Jonathan Grenard will also bring back because he did get that star dev and he's not that expensive. Plus he's interested, so we'll offer him neutral, 2 years, 17.2 mil. He takes it. For these players though, I mean, these are like lower level starters slash backups through here. We could bring Titus Howard back. However, I think in the last rebuild I did, he was doing well, and then as soon as I re-signed him, he started playing like shit. I mean, he isn't doing super well this year. He's on pace for like over 10 sacks, so we'll definitely hold off. Yeah, everyone else here I think we're good to wait on, but you never know. One could do well in the second half, so we'll reassess at the end of the year. But with that, speaking of that, let's get to the end of the year and let's see how we can finish. All right, so super quick before I reveal how we did in year number 2, if you have not already, be sure to like and subscribe. Helps me out a ton. Clearly, if you've made it here, I mean, you've enjoyed it so far, so I would appreciate that. Helps the channel grow. Of course, trying to hit 4K fairly soon. Again, I know I've said it like a million times, but big thank you for 3K. And of course, let me know what team to do next for a shout out whenever I pick your comment. Could be the next video, could be a few videos, you never know. But we finished 9-8, but we missed the playoffs. Actually, not even just that, we were last in our division at 9-8. I'm definitely not going to switch the playbooks though, because we are overperforming by quite a bit. We just haven't had an option to really like massively upgrade this team yet. We could get that this year. We're going to have a ton of money. There should be good free agents. There just weren't any good free agents last year. So this year I do expect big upgrades. So if you're wondering why there haven't been been any, that's why. We just haven't really had much of a chance. But CJ Stroud was really nice this year. 5,000 yards, 34 touchdowns, 13 picks, improved in every regard. Good completion percentage too, wish it was one higher. Overall, really good year though. Dameon Pierce, I remember him doing well, but he was terrible this year. Did reach 1,000 yards, but only 3.6 yards per carry behind a like decent offensive line. Did get 7 touchdowns, but those could be like 2-yard touchdowns, I don't know. Devin Singletary got 8 touchdowns. Whoa, wait, what? That wasn't intentional. I'm an idiot. I've started like weird players accidentally throughout the rebuild, but it looks like it worked out. I mean, can't complain too much. But John Mechie, almost 1,200 yards, 7 touchdowns for him, 1,100 yards, only 3 touchdowns though for Nico Collins, and Xavier Hutchinson. I don't even know how I did that, but 1,000 yards for him, 9 touchdowns. He was really nice. So hey, I won't complain. Didn't get Tank Dell much production, but yeah, he probably wouldn't have worked out here anyways. And Dalton Schultz with 969 yards, nice, and 9 touchdowns. He was really good. Blocking, Titus Howard wasn't bad. Laramie Tunsil was good. Kenyon Green was pretty bad though. Shaq Mason was fine. And Evan Rivers, okay, that was a good pick. He joins the all castration team, which if you don't know, my list of players, that isn't actually a list that I have written down or anything, but he'll join it in the fantasy land. It's the list of players that have allowed 0 sacks in a season, which is pretty rare for this game. And Evan Rivers does join that group. And I call it all castration team. Maybe it should be called all neutering team, but that's like removing the nuts. I don't know what removing the sack would be. I don't know what that would be called. I bet you didn't expect to hear about something like that in a Madden rebuild, but there you go. Sorry about that. Denzel Perriman leads the team with 121 tackles. Henry To'oTo'o with 117. 107 for Derek Stingley, which probably isn't great. That probably means he was getting beat a lot. Only 3 pass deflections. That's not a great season. I saw something. Will Anderson with 24 tackles for loss, 20 for Grenard, 17 for Collins, 16 from Rankins. Malik Collins kind of outplayed Sheldon Rankins. What was the snap count actually? Oh, Malik Collins did better with less snap. Of course, it's when he needs a contract. Why wouldn't it be? And then sacks, we didn't do great there. 8.5 for Will Anderson led the team, which is fine, but you want more leading your team. 6 for Malik Collins, only 4 for Jonathan Grenard. At least he got the 20 tackles for loss, ending with 422. That's a hilarious number too. By the way, did I mention that I'm like super mature? I don't know if I mentioned that, but yeah, I definitely am. We didn't get many interceptions though. 2 for Perriman, Ward, and Woodley as a rookie, and then 1 for Stingley and a Petrie. What did I say? And Petrie is what I meant to say. So just 8 interceptions total. I mean, CJ Stroud threw more, so that's not ideal. But I mean, I can't complain too much because we definitely overperformed based on where we should have been. But let's check out yearly awards. MVP goes to Mr. Jalen Hurts, Alexander Doyle of the Falcons at number 3, and Kyle O'Callahan of the Lions. A lot of rookie QBs here apparently. Offensive player of the year goes to Keenan Allen. That's interesting. Mecole Hardman on the Jets up there. Okay. Defensive rookie of the year goes to Von Miller. No Texans. Were there any Texans here? I wasn't even looking for Texans. I need to sleep. No, there were not. But offensive rookie of the year goes to Stephen Camp of the Bengals. Elijah Garrison, our backup tight end at number 3. What did he even do? I need to recheck that. And then defensive rookie of the year goes to Sherrod Medlock. That's a cool name. He's a Steelers player. Dalton Woodley at number 6. So I was hoping you would be higher, but at least he was up there. What did Garrison do? Or was every offensive rookie just not good? Garrison finished with only 300 yards and 2 touchdowns. Okay. Every rookie was just bad for the NFC, it looks like. So I mean, hey, if we started him, he would have won it, which is interesting, but we didn't. It wouldn't have made sense to start him because he's not that good, but still. That's a really weird Super Bowl. The San Francisco 49ers beat the Bengals 38-35, which I think was the score of the Super Bowl this year in real life, and I think these were the 2 teams that were in the conference championship games that lost. So we're having the 2 championship game losers playing in the Super Bowl and getting the exact same score as the real Super Bowl in real life this year. That's weird. At least I think those were the 2 teams, and I think that was the score. I'm pretty sure though. Maybe it was like the Bills. No, I think it was the Bengals. I don't know. Either way, interesting Super Bowl. Hated as a Seahawks fan, but it is what it is. Nah, I like the Bengals though. They're a fun team. And for the good old re-signings here, who do I want to bring back? I want to get Malik Collins back, but is he worth paying that much? He was good last year, but I just feel like he's not going to be as good this year once we give him a contract, so I think we are not going to re-sign him. Honestly, everybody here we can let go. Titus Howard, same deal. I feel like as soon as we re-sign him, he's just going to be terrible. He's not that expensive, though. He's really cheap. It would just be 2 years, 11.6 mil. You know what? Here's what we'll do. If he's in free agency, or if he doesn't have many offers in free agency, we'll just look to re-sign him if there isn't somebody better. That's what we'll do. So speaking of free agency, let's get there and let's hopefully upgrade this team because it needs it. As much as I've praised it, it still needs some work. Ah, well, that's like worst case scenario. There just isn't really a good receiver here. I mean, we could go with like Tyler Boyd, but it's not that much of an upgrade. Do we want to have like the most expensive tackle duo of all time? Maybe. All right, so we're going kind of big here in free agency, but we still have 95 mil to work with. Ah, the Bears are interested in Derek Brown. I didn't notice that. Hold on. I hope we can get him. I mean, maybe we can't. We'll see. We at least have tied for the lead for him. But we're going to be going after Tristan Wirfs. We're going to be moving him back to right tackle because, I mean, that's where he plays in real life. Just the Buccaneers might play him at left tackle in real life this year because, I mean, they don't really have a left tackle. I feel like maybe they should bring back Donovan Smith or something. At least that's some security there, but we'll see how Wirfs does on the left side for them if they do play him there. But we're going to move him back to the right side because we know he can play there. So I like that. We're going to keep Trayvon Diggs in Texas. I know we get him so much in rebuilds, but that's because he's the only like good corner that ever hits free agency. So sounds like a plan to me. Derek Brown, we're also going to be going for. He doesn't actually hit it that much. He does sometimes, but we don't have a like for sure lead for him. We're just tied for the lead. If we don't get him, we'll probably just go with like Ed Oliver, assuming he doesn't sign before we can offer him a deal. I hope he doesn't, but also I'm worried to offer him a deal and then get both of these guys when we don't really need both. I don't know. We'll see. And then we're also going to be going for Isaiah Simmons, whose 5th-year option did get declined in real life, which isn't surprising. He hasn't been that good. So we're going to bring him in here and make it a really good linebacker group, honestly, between him, Denzel Perriman, and Henry To'oTo'o. So let's see if any of these players sign right off the bat. And actually, only 2 of them do, but we do get Trayvon Diggs and Derek Brown. So 2 good players at the very least, but maybe we won't be able to get Tristan Wirfs. Maybe we shouldn't get Tristan Wirfs. I mean, we got to spend our money somewhere, you know what I mean? So we're offering him like a full deal. It would kind of suck if he didn't sign with us because that probably means he's going to the Titans, a division rival. And then we still have the lead for Isaiah Simmons. He just is being a bitch and didn't want to sign. But let's see if either of these players sign. And wow, we get Isaiah Simmons, but yeah, Tristan Wirfs goes to the Titans. That sucks. And Jedrick Wills does go to the Steelers. And Titus Howard also goes to the Steelers. So we're going to have to draft a right tackle, which was kind of my plan to begin with. So this might not be the end of the world. We'll see. I do maybe want to do something. We'll see though. Ooh, I actually had a really fun idea. I was going to do something like this to try to bring D-Hop back, but I just kind of feel like a first is too much to give up. I tried to get him for like a 3rd or a 2nd, but neither were like close, which is kind of surprising because he is older. I don't think he has a good dev trait here. No, he only has star, which is kind of confusing. But yeah, I don't know if I can give up a first for an older receiver. I don't know if I could do that. I don't even know if that would go through. It probably would, but I don't think I could get the 5th added in with it. Yeah, I tried to trade for a receiver, but everybody's just kind of too expensive. I think we're just gonna have to tough it out and either A, sign one next year, or B, try to draft a really good one here. We'll see. So here in the draft, the Cardinals go from the Super Bowl to the #1 overall pick, which is kind of more where I see them, but hey, I don't know. And we still had the Browns 1st round pick, so I had to trade that back to them because we shouldn't have that anymore. We should be done with their picks. But let's simulate to our 1st pick, and I think I know what I want to do here. I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure. The guy I wanted is gone. This guy doesn't look bad though. Do we need to take him yet though? I mean, I don't want to risk missing out on him, especially with a last name like Cummins. I need that guy. Okay, yeah, there was an elite looking corner, but he's gone. That's the only way I would have passed on this guy so far. This safety also looks pretty good. His pursuit isn't great, but he does look good. Ooh, this tackle also looks really good. His combine wasn't great though, but it wasn't terrible. Doesn't have much power to his game, but I don't know, could be something there. But let's go go with the scheme fit at right tackle in Nate Cummins. He's 6'5", 320, which is kind of a weird build for tackle, especially an agile one. 22 years old, out of Alabama. Not the greatest combine ever for him, but elite jumping and change of direction, which is really interesting at 320 pounds. He's a confusing player, but most Madden generated players are. They just don't make much sense because it'll be like a massive dude and it's like, oh, he's the fastest at his position in the class. And then it'll be like some tiny dude and they'll be the slowest at the position in their class and make no sense. So I don't know. Let's take him. Normal dev, unfortunately, might have been a reach, but we desperately need right tackles, so I'm fine with it. We'll see what his overall is. But I also wonder if that safety was good. He probably was. Ooh, this guy might be good. Am I about to get baited by another D threat? He's not quite as quick as the other guy, but I like that he actually has somewhat okay receiving stats, especially the A spec catch. But also I feel like he's just gonna be ass, because that's how most of these players are. You know what? We don't really have much else to look at. Let's go Donovan Levins. He's 5'9", 191, 22 years old, out of Florida. Good speed, good overall ratings. I do really like the A spec catch. Let's take him. He does have hidden dev, 95 speed. Could be really nice. We'll have to see. Hopefully he's at least better than the last guy we took. Whew. Okay, well, let's take our obligatory nose tackle, I guess, with absurd speed or absurd strength. 44 bench reps at the combine, 46 at his pro day. A play rec tackle impact block. Not great in terms of other stuff, but I don't really care. He looks good. Let's take him. Hidden dev, 98 strength. I'm kind of surprised it's not 99 even, but we'll definitely take it. It'll probably develop to a 99 during the season. Ooh, whoa. Oh, his run block is really bad, but Jaden Devlin does look pretty good. We might have to take him. We might just throw a bunch of darts at offensive line for the rest of the draft. I mean, that's really the only thing we need. So I guess let's kick it off with Jaden Devlin. I'm probably not going to show the rest of the picks, but I will make them. All right, let's take him. Hidden dev, not great strength, but he could be a good player. Would make sense at tackle at 6'5", 309. Just need an 8 and a 7 in there, if you know what I mean. But he might, weirdly enough, end up being our starter. We'll see who's better. We definitely had a solid draft, I'll say that. I do kind of wish we went with like that safety or something. Just out of curiosity, what did he end up being? Was it Pritchett? I can't remember which safety it was. Oh god, I fucked up. It was this guy. Jabari Winston. Out of Washington State too? Why didn't I trust my gut? He's a 77 overall. Okay, he only has star, but that would have been a lot better than a backup offensive lineman, because Jaden Devlin was a 74 overall at guard, a 73 overall at tackle. He will start. He does have the dev trait, so our first pick was pointless. Awesome. Donovan Levins is decent. He's a 72 overall, obviously as hidden. We're probably going to get him playing time, so I like that. And then Emmanuel Reed, this defensive tackle, is very good. He was probably our best pick, just overall and dev trait wise, at a 74 overall. Obviously really good strength and all that, so I like that one a lot. And then just some depth players. I think I took all these except the QB, so not too bad of a draft for sure. Just wish we took that safety with our first pick, then it would have been an amazing draft, but it was decent. So here's a look at the team heading into year number 3 of the rebuild. Couple changes here on offense, couple new rookies. Donovan Levins is going to be our wide receiver 1. We're going to see if we can develop him. Hopefully he has a dev trait better than star, but we'll see. Devlin and Levins, that's not confusing at all, but Jaden Devlin is going to be our starting right tackle. We'll see how he can do. His run blocking is horrible. Well, his actual run blocking is a 73, but the power and finesse are terrible, so that's not great. That doesn't really make sense either, but whatever. Like, if you're bad at both parts of run blocking, why are you overall decent at run block? This game makes no sense sometimes. And then on defense, we did add a few more players. We added Trayvon Diggs, of course. Isaiah Reed? No, it's not Isaiah. It's Emmanuel Reed, spelled with an I. Okay, whatever. So we'll see what we can get from him as a rookie too. And we did have a few dev-ups. I don't know if Denzel Pearman went up this year or last year. I didn't notice last year, but it might have been. But he did get star. Will Anderson went up to X Factor, which is kind of crazy. And Dalton Schultz went up to star, and I think that was it. I'm surprised one of these receivers haven't gotten like star yet, because each Collins and Mechie have had a pretty good season under their belts, but I won't complain too much. But with that, let's get to the midseason point of year number 3, and let's see how we can do. Okay, at the midseason point of year 3, we're doing pretty well, but also also, it's still a very tight division. We're 4-3, and that puts us pretty much smack in the middle because the Jags are 4-3 in the middle too. The Colts are 1 game behind, but that's just because they've only played 6 games. If they win, they're tied with us. So yeah, and the Titans are only 1 ahead of us. So we can win the division or we can get last in the division. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't imagine we're going to have too crazy of re-signings. Shaq Mason, Dalton Schultz. So we definitely have some. I do want Shaq Mason back. He's going to be expensive and he's going to regress like crazy, but he wears number 69, so I got to re-sign him. I don't know why the Bucks traded him away. I guess just because he's old, but like for like next to nothing, they traded away a good offensive lineman, which in my opinion, if I was going to rebuild a team, I would keep the lineman. That can make the transition much smoother, because if you're trying to find a young QB, it definitely doesn't hurt to have good offensive linemen to help develop them with, but I don't know, maybe that's just me. But let's offer him this 3 years, 42.6 mil. He takes it. Beautiful. Can't wait for him to allow 10 sacks this year. Dalton Schultz will re-sign. He's been pretty decent. It'll be 4 years, 34 mil. That's not too bad. The length? Okay, then maybe we won't re-sign you. We could probably find a better player in free agency. Denzel Perriman, he's not that expensive, but also he's gonna regress, so I'll just re-sign him once he's already regressed, so he'll be cheaper. Jimmy Ward is 33 years old. Nico Collins hasn't really developed much, and the rest of these are just depth players, pretty much. I might re-sign Blake Gillikin and Matt Gay. Obviously gotta re-sign Matt Gay because I'm immature, like I've said, just so we don't have to worry about re-signing a kicker and punter every goddamn year. I guess there's only 1 more year anyways, but who cares? But with that, let's get to the end of the year and let's see how we can finish. Alright, well, y'all know what this means. Here we are at the end of year number 3, and here is a look at the team. Now, if you haven't already, of course, like, subscribe, all that stuff. Helps out a ton. Let me know what team to do next for a shout out whenever I pick your comment. And of course, turn on notifications if you want to be one of the first people to ever see these videos and make sure that you never miss one of these bangers. And actually, before I show how we did, Jaden Devlin has Superstar Dev, which is kinda crazy. I really did not expect that, and that makes our first round pick look even worse now, but at least we got 1 good lineman. I wish the names could have been switched, because I would much prefer Cummins to Devlin, but I don't know. And then Reed just has Star, and I think that was our only guy with hidden on defense. I can't remember. Levens does only have Star too, but we finished 10-7 making the playoffs. These playbooks seem pretty good. We still don't have a great team at only an 81 overall, but we're making the playoffs. This was a lot harder of a rebuild than I expected, just because it's kind of hard to develop players in Madden at times unless they already have a really good dev trait. I kind of feel like dev trait should matter less because it's so subjective, but I don't know, maybe that's just me. CJ Stroud had a monster season, 4,400 yards, 40 touchdowns, only 10 picks, 71% completion percentage. Really good season. Dameon Pierce finished with 1,400 yards, 4.8 yards per carry, 11 touchdowns. Devin Singletary also was pretty good, almost 500 yards, 4.3 per carry, 14 touchdowns. Maybe we should re-sign him, I don't know. Nico Collins, for some reason, was our leading receiver with about 1,150 yards and only 3 touchdowns. John Mechie with 987 and 11, Donovan Levens with 949 and 12, and Dalton Schultz with 700 yards, 9 touchdowns. Blocking, Jaden Devlin was our worst lineman, and he wasn't even that bad, allowing 9 sacks as a rookie, which for real life, not great, but for Madden, that's good. Kenyon Green wasn't amazing. Shaq Mason was solid. Evan Rivers was solid. And Laramie Tunsil, maybe the best line season I've ever seen, allowing only 2 sacks at the hardest offensive line position. So you love to see that. And defensively, Isaiah Simmons led the team with 131 tackles, Denzel Perriman with 124, Jimmy Ward with 107. Tackles for loss? Okay, 18 from Will Anderson, 13 from Derek Brown and Emmanuel Reed, but sacks? Only 9 from Will Anderson, only 5 from Jonathan Grenard, 4 for Derek Brown, only 1 for Emmanuel Reed. Ugh. But interceptions definitely helped us out. 5 from each Trayvon Diggs and Isaiah Simmons, 4 from Dalton Woodley in year number 2, and then 1 for a few players. So if we didn't have those interceptions, we would have been kind of screwed, but I'm glad we did. Whoa, I've never seen that before. MVP goes to Deshaun Watson. Yikes. And it looks like we might have made the wrong choice at QB. Davis Mills at number 3 for MVP, but the Buccaneers offensive playbook is pretty broken, so I don't know. Tua on the Saints, that's weird. CJ Stroud does come in at number 7, which is surprising because he was really good. I don't even want to see what Bill Cosby Crosby did, but I might check. But Deshaun Watson does win Offensive Player of the Year, so he must have had a lot of rushing yards. Did they redo this, how this works? Like, can QBs win it just off of passing now? I don't know. No Texans up there, though. Defensive Player of the Year goes to Max Crosby. Leighton Vander Esch on the Raiders? Okay. Marcus Davenport on the Jags? Isaiah Simmons does make it up there at number 10. And then Offensive Rookie of the Year goes to Alexander Parrish of the Dolphins. Donovan Levens at number 2. I wish he could have won that. Unfortunately not, though. And then Defensive Rookie of the Year goes to Morris Randolph of the Chargers. Emmanuel Reed at number 4. He was kind of mid, though. I mean, he had a good amount of tackles for loss, but that's about it. But with that, I think we're about ready to jump into the playoffs. We have a playoff rivals here. Of course, it's going to be against the Tennessee Titans. Let's go... I guess let's go chess match. I don't know if it really matters either way, because it gives both teams the same boosts, so I don't know. And then always got to play it cool for the playoff, whatever, the first playoff game. I don't remember what it's called. But with that, let's jump in against the Titans. Here we go in the wild card against the Tennessee Titans. Now, we do have the better overall team. I know it showed an 81, but when I closed the game out to restart it, just so it didn't lag, it did show us as an 83 after I spent the upgrades, so we have the better team. They're only an 82, and we're at home, so I can't wait to lose. It'll be great. Nah, but I mean, upsets happen. It's fine, but I do want to win, of course. We go up early 3-0. The Titans do score, and they take the lead 7-3, but we get a field goal. We're only down by 1 point. They get a touchdown, though. They're up 14-6. We need a 2-point, but they get a touchdown. Our offense just isn't doing anything. As I say that, we get a field goal, but it is way too little too late. We do get a touchdown and a 2-point there, but it is 34-15, and that's going to be the final score. Unfortunate. Oh, yeah, they have Will Levis. He did take over at starter. So, rookie QB battle here. Will Levis versus CJ Stroud. That's interesting. In the Super Bowl, the Eagles take down the Tennessee Titans, who we lost to, obviously, 24-17. Why do I feel like there's some kind of, like, connection between those teams? Like, no, Mike Vrabel wasn't on the Eagles or anything. I don't know. For some reason, those two teams, like, register the same in my brain. Not in terms of, like, talent, but just, like, I don't know. I feel like there's some kind of weird connection there. I don't know why. Ignore me. I'm just being stupid, but, like, I don't know. But for re-signings here, we still have 144 mil to work with. Honestly, I might just let all these players test, and we'll just go, like, crazy with our money. If we can't re-sign them, we'll try to upgrade there. No, that's not really what I meant to say. We're gonna try to upgrade at those positions, but if we can't, we'll just try to re-sign these players. So with that, let's see what we can do in free agency. With almost 140 mil to work with, we better get something good. Okay, I mean, this isn't the worst free agency ever. I was hoping it would be better, honestly. There just aren't that many good players here. I mean, yeah, there just aren't any good players. Normally, this is way better here. I mean, we'll try to upgrade as much as we can, but it's gonna be hard if there aren't many upgrades. So here's gonna be like the first group of players we're gonna go for. It's gonna be Nick Chubb, Greg Rousseau, Amari Cooper, Dalton Schultz, and Taylor Rapp. So I mean, these are just all attempted upgrades. I want to spend our money somewhere, so we might as well just try to get as many players as we can. We don't necessarily need Nick Chubb because Dameon Pierce was good last year, but if we can upgrade, we might as well upgrade, you know what I mean? So let's see if any of these players sign. They all sign, and we get all 5, and we still have 73 mil to work with. I mean, I don't even know what to do now. Davis Mills has X Factor now. Oh my god. Of course he does. Why wouldn't he? Here's gonna be the next group of players we go for. It's gonna be Kadarius Toney, JC Horn, Eric Armstead, David Long, and Derek Forrest. Some starters, some, I guess, good depth pieces here. Let's see if any of them sign. And all of them sign. We don't get Toney. That was the major one I was hoping for. But I think we did get all of the rest. No, there's one other we didn't get. Who was it, though? It was Eric Armstead. I see. All right, well, here are the next 3 players we're gonna go for. Just really high-end depth here. Zadarius Smith, Michael Pierce, who might start, we'll see, and Will Dissly. And the first 2 sign. Will Dissly doesn't yet. We get Smith, and we get Pierce. And, I mean, I don't really care if Will Dissly signs. Let's just get to the draft and figure out what we're gonna do. Okay, we might be losing a little bit of the realism, but here we're gonna be trading a first-round pick for Mr. DeAndre Hopkins, bringing him back to Houston. More than I would like to give up, but but I don't know what we're gonna do with that first anyways, so I'm fine with it. The reason I didn't want to do it before is like maybe I can get a good receiver later anyways, but we really needed a number 2, so D-Hop as the 1, Amari Cooper as the 2, really old, but still good. So here we are in the draft. I'm doing weird stuff in this rebuild. I'm thinking about trading up into like the early second round, because there are some really good looking players. I'll see. Let me simulate there. Oh wait, I just went next user pick. I'm stupid. Wait, I think that Josh Barber guy is one of them I wanted. Oh no. Wait, let me check. Okay, no, the guy is still here. Harold Singleton is one of the players I was thinking of. He overall looks really good. Oh my god. Okay, he's one of them I was thinking of. Another is one of these linebackers. Oh, this guy isn't as good as I thought he was. But Markel Wheeler could also be really good. Oh, he has good speed. He's not very strong though, but see, these are 2 low injury players. I'm pretty sure the safety had low injury too. Like, these are just high risk, high reward picks, but it takes the risk out because we don't have injuries on. So it feels a little cheesy, but oh well, I don't really care. Which one do we want to go with first? I mean, it really doesn't matter. I'm going to trade up for the other one either way. Let's go Harold Singleton. I feel like he might be the better player. Good speed, good strength for a safety. Overall, just good combine. I think he looks pretty good. Let's take him. Only normal dev, but I do expect him to be a good overall. We're going to just build the deepest team ever. Like, we have like 7 good safeties now. We're about to have like 12 good linebackers. Well, no, linebacker's kind of our weakest position, but still. It won't be in a second. Really? You're gonna reject a 4 and a 5 to move down 30 spots? Okay. All right, we're trading a 3, a 4, and our backup QB for their second round pick. So that works, I guess. All right, here let's take Markel Wheeler. Obviously very good looking too. A, awareness, A, hit power, B, block shed, man coverage, tackle, zone coverage. Only 21 years old, out of Tennessee. Let's take him. Also normal dev, god damn it. But could be a good overall. We'll see. Okay, here is a look at the team heading into the 4th and final season of the rebuild. It's getting late here, so I gotta be, you know, not crazy loud, but we built a nasty roster. The overall doesn't really show that, surprisingly, but I mean, I would say DeAndre Hopkins, Amari Cooper, Nick Chubb is a pretty good trio. With CJ Stroud, I mean, we still have Dalton Schultz. The offensive line is good. And then defensively, we definitely do have our holes. Like, we don't have any crazy good linebackers, although Isaiah Simmons has been very good. We don't have the best safeties ever, but overall, it is a good defense. I mean, Gregory Rousseau, Will Anderson, Trayvon Diggs, J.C. Horn, Zadarius Smith, Derek Brown. Like, we have some good players for sure. It's just we still do have our holes for sure, but hopefully they can develop throughout the year. But speaking of that, let's get to the end of year number 4 and let's see how we can finish. You know, I feel bad plugging for like the 50 millionth time this video, but I gotta keep the tradition going, you know what I mean? So if you haven't already, like, subscribe, turn on notifications. If you haven't already though, what are you doing? You've made it all the way here. Clearly you have enjoyed it, so I'd appreciate it very much. And also let me know what team to do next. But here is a look at the team. Did we have any like hidden dev players? I don't think we did, because the 2 we took were Wheeler and Singleton, and both just had normal, but they were both good overalls. They were each like a 73 at the start of the year. But in year number 4, we finished 11-6, making the playoffs. So let's check out how the team did before we jump into the playoffs here. CJ Stroud was okay. Barely 4,000 yards, 32 touchdowns, 9 picks. That's fine. I mean, again, for real life, that would be a really nice season, but for Madden, that's just fine. Nick Chubb with 1,600 yards, 5.4 yards per carry, 17 touchdowns. Definitely a good addition there. In receiving, we didn't even have one 1,000-yard receiver. Donovan Levins actually led the team, even though we had DeAndre Hopkins and Amari Cooper. He had 975 yards, 10 touchdowns. Everyone else didn't do much at all. Blocking was mostly good. Kenyon Green was terrible. Evan Rivers was pretty bad, but Laramie Tunsil was good, I guess. We had some pretty terrible performances this year, though. David Long led the team in tackles with 134, 126 for Isaiah Simmons. Tackles for loss, we had 17 for Brown, 14 for Anderson and Rousseau, and 11 for Smith. In sacks, 6 with the group of Will Anderson, Zadarius Smith, Derek Brown, and Greg Rousseau. Fix your shit, Madden. This is stupid. We had 6 each from Will Anderson and Zadarius Smith as a backup, 5 for Derek Brown, 4 for Greg Rousseau. This game sucks. There's no way in hell well that those 4 players would total 21 sacks. This is stupid. But interceptions, 3 for Isaiah Simmons, Trayvon Diggs, and Henry To'oTo'o, 2 for David Long, Dalton Woodley, and Jalen Petrie, and then 1 for a couple players. So disappointing ass year. I'm surprised we even went 11-6. Our stats were terrible. Our offense just wasn't that good. We were 12th, but it looked a lot worse than 12th. I'll say that. Ah, that's great. MVP goes to Trevor Lawrence on the Seahawks. That's fun. Jacoby Brissett on the Rams up there. Timmy Graham. Okay. You ain't fooling anyone, Jimmy. Coming back to the Packers as a quarterback. All right. Offensive player of the year goes to Tyreek Hill, Nick Chubb at number 2. No other Texans, but that's not surprising. Defensive player of the year goes to Von Miller. No Texans. Offensive rookie of the year goes to Mike Melvin of the Indianapolis Colts, apparently giving up on Anthony Richardson. I didn't even see him get a chance. That's interesting. No Texans. And then defensive rookie of the year goes to Darius Garrard of the New York Jets. Probably no Texans in here. No. So really weird season. Everybody underperformed except like a few defensive players getting interceptions and I guess Nick Chubb. But before we jump into the Bengals game, we have a few scenarios here. We have a hot opponent. Shout out Bobby Schmurda, I guess. Always gotta be confident. Let's go. Plus 10 like everything for both teams, so doesn't really matter, but maybe. And then always gotta play it cool here. So with that, let's jump in against the Bengals and see if we can somehow win against, I guess, not a worse team. So I would be fine losing this, but I feel like just we should have been better overall. I'm like a world-class complainer, to be honest. Well, here we go in the wild card against the Cincinnati Bengals. I'm scared to see how this is gonna go, but let's simulate it out. We go up early 7-0. The Bengals do match that though. It is tied 7-7. We kick a field goal and take the lead 10-7 in the second quarter. There just isn't much scoring going on. The Bengals do drive and they get a field goal, but we get a touchdown. We're up 17-10, now 17-17, now 24-17, now 31-17. We're getting all the scoring. That was 17-38 for a second. That was super funny. We are up 45-31, and that's gonna be the final score. So we do at least win a playoff game. What is that like screaming I'm hearing? What the hell? But CJ Stroud looks like he had a monster game here. Almost 400 yards, 5 touchdowns, 80% completion percentage, perfect passer rating. Finally playing up to where he maybe could in the future. Nah, he was decent this last year and was really good last year, but still. Oh, an upgrade for Greg Rousseau. Maybe that'll help him be not dog shit. We'll see. But here I think, oh, I gotta switch D-Hop's number. Maybe that's why we were cursed. Okay, so we get plus 10 like everything for the next game in 2500 XP. I need to switch DeAndre Hopkins' number. 89 that ain't doing it for me. Somebody probably already has the number 10 and I'm gonna have to figure out who the fuck it is. Okay, I got that all fixed. Maybe we won't be cursed now. I say that we're cursed, but we made the playoffs. But we get 7 staff points here for winning our first playoff game. I don't know, the first of the year. But let's see who we're gonna be taking on in the divisional. Ah, good luck. The 13-4 Denver Broncos. Now they're only an 82 overall, but I think we're fucked regardless, because I mean, if the team performs, the team performs. Like, it's gonna be tough. We have a ton of upgrades here from the 2500 XP. Ooh, plus 2 for JC Horn. Always go slot upgrade for corner. But with that, there isn't really much else for us to do, so let's jump in against the Broncos. All right, here we go in the divisional in Mile High. That's the name of it, I think. I think so. But let's simulate this game out and see if we can somehow get a win. We go up early 7-0, but the Broncos do drive, but they don't score. We do kick a field goal to go up 10-0, and that's going to be the score at halftime. We put up another touchdown, go up 17-0, but the Broncos score back-to-back and put up 10 points. This is getting a bit scary. The Broncos score a touchdown and tie the game. We do put up a touchdown at the very end, though, to win the game. And they still have Nathaniel Hackett here, so that's their big downfall, to be honest. At least I think that's who that was. So we get another win here. Not as great of a performance from CJ Stroud, but still enough to get us a win. I'm happy with it. And in the conference championship, we're going to be taking on the 13-4 Baltimore Ravens. Well, that's scary. An upgrade for Nate Cummins. Let's go. I guess we technically have a slightly better team because we have an 88 defense. They have an 88 offense, but we have an 85 offense. They have an 84 defense, but we're the same overall. But they also have the home game, so I don't know. Whatever happens, happens. I'm surprised we made it this far even, so let's jump in and let's see if we can somehow get a win. So here we go in whatever the Ravens Stadium is called. M&T Bank Stadium. Thank you, announcer. I'm not very good with stadium names, but let's simulate to the end of the game. We go up early 7-0. The Ravens are driving and they do put up a touchdown. They're driving once again. They only put up a field goal though. We put up one to match it and we put up a touchdown right after half. We put up another touchdown. There's just a lot of scoring going on here. I can't keep up. We are up 31-24 in the fourth quarter and that's going to be the final score. We're on to the Super Bowl. Messy commentating from me there. I was just confused as to what was happening, but we made it to the Super Bowl. CJ Stroud with a very high completion percentage. Pretty good game overall. I'm glad we at least did something in terms of like playoff wins. Don't know if we deserved to win that one because they were probably the better team because they had the home field advantage, but I will take it. Ooh, and it looks like we're gonna take on my Seattle Seahawks in the Super Bowl. Oh god, okay. But let's see, did we get any dev ups? Maybe. Upgrades for CJ Stroud and Emmanuel Reed. Let me check the roster. I don't see any dev ups on offense unless I am stupid. And then defensively, Isaiah Simmons went up to X Factor, but I think that was the only dev up here. So, I mean, it doesn't really matter because it's the last year and these players aren't going to develop anyways, but still. And then we have a Super Bowl media day. I guess this is technically everything. This is the last game of the rebuild. So 10 staff points. We're not even going to spend those. Let's jump in against the Seahawks and see if we can get a win. In Seahawks, if we can get a win. I don't know. There's some joke there, but I'm too stupid to make it. Yeah, it wouldn't be funny anyways. Well, here we go in the Super Bowl, of course, against the Seahawks. Let's simulate this out and see how it goes. The Seahawks go up early 7-0 and they're driving again. They go up 14-0. We do finally score, but it is only a field goal, but we do put up a touchdown right after that. The Seahawks are up 14-10. We put up another field goal. We're just not scoring enough. I think that's the problem. I think we're going to lose this game. The Seahawks are up 28-18. They put up another touchdown and a field goal. That puts it well out of reach. So we're going to lose to a worse team in the Super Bowl. You hate to see it. But we built a really good team. It just didn't perform quite as well as it could have. Again, if you enjoyed, be sure to like, be sure to subscribe. Both of those help me out a ton. Should take you like 5 seconds. Turn on them notifications to make sure you catch the next video. And let me know what team to do next for a shout out in the next video. But I hope you enjoyed today's video. Another big thank you for 3K. Trying to reach 4K fairly soon. But with that, I'll see y'all again in the next video. Goodbye.